an Italian-inspired shave with an Italian general from Schenectady, New York. Tonight, that's right, I said tonight, on Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, today was Barber Errand Day, and so we were gone most of the day. Went out and had a late lunch at our favorite Indian restaurant, and came home and started getting the motor coach ready for the mechanic that's coming out to do some things, and just never got around to showering and shaving, so I did that this evening. And this is a late one. I think it's probably close to 7:30, 8 o'clock, I think. So it'll be put out much later than that. But we figured we'd do a quick straight razor shave with a product that is quick, easy to use, matchy, and gives homage to probably one of the greatest Italian scents ever made. And this specific soap for years and years and years had legendary status on the forums. And then it went away for a while and people were freaking out. And then it came back and everybody was happy. But some said it wasn't the same when actually it was. And then now the whole base has been changed, but still just as good. Okay. You probably already recognize the razor because of the scales. Probably the most unique scales I've ever seen on a razor. And I'll show you later, but it's one of the few razors I've ever seen, well, actually the only razor I've ever seen, that actually has the papal seal on it. So who knows where this razor was? Or if it was made for a pope that was that became pope. It could have been like, let's say when John Paul became pope, they came up with a whole bunch of razors. Or it may have shaved the pope by his own personal barber. Who knows? But in talking to some of my Italian friends, they're not sure why it has the papal seal, considering that it was made from Schenectady, New York, and apparently this General Bagdoglio, which is what the razor's called, wasn't that nice of a person, I guess. So, who knows? But it's got the papal seal on it as far as the bolsters, and I think that's really cool. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So I've kind of given away what the razor is. Now, hopefully by the end of this week, if a certain individual will get humping on it, I should have, believe it or not, possibly, as I've promised, the very last straight razor that I will ever purchase. It is the final grail piece, and I've got every other razor I've ever wanted now. So we'll see. I guess I should say that this razor has been stropped 30 and 60 on linen and leather. So it is a very smooth razor. Those of you that watch my videos all the time know that I've been kind of playing around with my passes, whether I go with the grain, then against the grain, then above or against or with across the grain, or whether I do a half and half. I've been kind of messing around either way, and I've gone back to today. I'm going back to my regular original. As I mentioned yesterday, if there's anything you want to see on the channel or on the Straight Razor Learning Series, please let me know in the comments. Also, we're still trying to get to 2,000, so give us all the help you can. Would certainly appreciate it. So this shave will probably get me through all of tomorrow. So I may do a evening shave again tomorrow, or I may just not do anything because I'm going to be going back to the shop on Wednesday. So I may hobo it for Tuesday. Finally had a decent monsoon earlier this evening, or I should say this afternoon. It was quick, but we finally got some rain and some thunder and lightning, and we can really use the rain. I'm sure most of you that watch the news have been following that a real bad tragedy occurred up in the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And for those of you that are not from this area, the north rim of the Grand Canyon is only open for a limited amount of time each year because it's actually 1,000 feet higher than the south rim, which is the most popular, because the south rim is the easiest to get to. To get to the north rim of the canyon, you have to drive about an extra 200 miles around Flagstaff and north through the Navajo Indian Reservation and then through Jacob Lake and the Vermilion Cliffs. But the north rim is so much more beautiful. It's one of the few places where they have what they call the kaibab pine, which is pine trees that date back to Christ. And they have some bison herds there, transplanted, of course. Jacob's Lake, which is up in that area. And probably the most important icon is the Grand Canyon Lodge at the North Rim. This is a lodge that was built right into the side of the cliffs. So when you're, well, used to be when you were sitting in the lounge, you could actually look down and see sheer cliffs all the way down to the bottom of the Colorado River. And then you could look across and see the south rim of the Grand Canyon 1,000 feet lower. A little bit of cleanup. And right now the dragon fire, which is the fire that's doing all the damage. Oh, and I should say that also at the lodge there, you had these little cabins. The cabins were really cool, very rustic, but all had little porches and little chairs, Adirondack chairs you could sit out at night and look at the canyon. Just a beautiful place, magical. I think I said in my travel video that Jenny Lake and Grand Teton are probably the most magical places to us. And second is the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Well, long story short, I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, maybe, I can't remember. The lodge burned down because of the fire. And although it was made a lot of rock, just some of the furniture and the historic value of that entire lodge is just depressing as hell to me. So the North Rim of the Grand Canyon is closed until further notice because of the fire. So, yeah, so wildfire season in Arizona. Sucks. So you can just look up the Grand Canyon Lodge on the North Rim or look for pictures on the North Rim. It's so much more pretty. I mean, the Grand Canyon's beautiful to begin with, but nothing is like the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. As a matter of fact, that was going to be part of our vacation next year, but we're going to have to adjust that. Not too much of a zap on the alum. Straight razor shaving, you're always going to get a little bit, no matter what you do. Get cleaned up and we'll go over everything. So with the flooding in Texas, of which our prayers go out to everybody. And it's funny because we were actually going to move to the hill country at one point. And that would have been interesting. So our prayers go out to all of our fellow brethren in Texas. Obviously, the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Haven't had any reports of anybody getting killed or any animals, but there's the dragon fire, and then there's another fire near Jacob Lake, which is another just absolutely gorgeous place, of which we were planning to go for vacation next year in the motorhome. But now we'll have to rethink all that. I wouldn't mind going back up to Jackson because I love that place, or the Tetons. Nice evening shave. Okay, before we start putting on any of the accoutrement, the razor, you figured it out, of course. The General Bagdolio from Schenectady, New York. I don't have my glasses on, but you can see that seal, and that is the papal seal as far as I know. And it's just fantastic. Just a beautiful razor. And these scales are the most unique scales. They're almost like a horsehair, but really, really cool. Okay, for the brush today, and that'll probably give you a hint on what we did. The Fine Accoutrements C20 with the Angel Hair Synthetic. Really nice brush. A little bit floppy, but beautiful for what you need it for. And then, of course, the legend that is the Italian Citrus. Now, they don't make these anymore. These little containers for the soap are great because they stacked up. So all your different fine products you could just stack. And I think these are just fantastic. And Italian Citrus, of course, is an homage to Acqua di Parma, and they do a really great job. This, I don't know if he's even still using these bottles anymore, because I know he's got EDPs now, which I have not tried, but the Italian Citrus. Now, I had the original Italian Citrus, and then like anybody else, I had to wait until the second version came out. And although it's not quite as good as the original one. It's really close. And the nice thing about his stuff, menthol, water, fragrance, alcohol. That's it. Nice shave for an evening. I hope everybody enjoyed watching. Again, please like, subscribe. Make sure that you come and see us tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, for Drinks and Dave's. We're going to be talking about razors and the butterfly effect. I'll let you guys stew on that. Again, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, on the Drinks and Dave's channel. And then, of course, if you'd be so kind, like, subscribe on Barber Dave Shaves and such. And then also over on our travel channel, which is Rocks and Roads, which is a little bit of RVing, off-roading with the Jeep, rock hounding, and all kinds of stuff. It's a fun channel. Anyhow, I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and such. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Monday evening, and we'll maybe see you tomorrow. Take care.